All right, so Triple G defeats late replacement Varnes Martirosyan via second round KO. Like Cannabis, when he did that diss track about LL Cool J. Never mind that. Anyway, yeah, Triple G dispatches of Martirosyan. Now, I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen the old school James Bond movie. I think it came out in like the late 70s called Moonraker, which is uh yeah, James Bond movie from the 70s starring Roger Moore. And there's a villain in Moonraker called Jaws. He's a huge guy, like 7 feet tall or over 7 feet tall. And, this is James Bond. So James Bond's knocked out a lot of big guys. And the first time he comes across Jaws, he realizes he's a bad guy. He's thinking, okay, let me hit him with my best shot. I've knocked out plenty of big guys before. I'm going to hit him with my best shot. So he turns around, cracks Jaws in the mouth, and all of a sudden he's like, damn, that wasn't supposed to hurt as much as that. My hand is killing me. And Jaws smiles at him. Instead of falling to the floor, Jaws just turns his head back around, looks at him, smiles, and as he opens his mouth, he's got a mouth full of metal teeth. And at that point, James Bond is like, oh, I done messed up. I done messed up. Where's the exit? Where is the exit? All right? That is what happened to Varnes Martirosyan against Triple G on Saturday night. Varnes Martirosyan came out in the first round and he gave it a go. He tried to hit Triple G with his best shots, and he did hit him with his best shots. He actually managed to knock Triple G off balance with a hard straight left. Triple G wasn't hurt at all. He was just angry. Triple G is an easy guy to hit. He's never had a good defense. But what he does have is very, very heavy hands and a seemingly iron jaw. So you end up hitting this guy with your best shot. Nothing happens. He just becomes enraged. And then you feel like James Bond in that movie scene where you just hit Jaws and you're like, oh my God, where's the exit? I done messed up. Like, where's the exit? And that's what happened. Martirosyan in the second round started moving more because he realized, wow, I can't hurt this guy. And when Triple G eventually cracked him, and in fact, just to be fair to Martirosyan, I actually gave him the first round. I thought he shaded the first round against Triple G. Second round, he hit Triple G with a couple more shots, realized that he couldn't hurt the guy, started moving a bit more, got cracked with some heavy punches. Triple G had him up against the ropes. Martirosyan was fighting for his life, trying to keep Triple G off of him, but several punches went in, and down went Varnes Martirosyan. He could have got up, in my opinion. He looked coherent enough to get up, but he realized that it was a tank, taking on a tank with a pea shooter, basically. That's what he was doing. He couldn't put a dent in the guy. And Triple G, he's a real middleweight, because when you look at Martirosyan, he really did look like a guy from a smaller weight class next to Triple G. He looked tiny. He looked puny next to Triple G. Even though he was slightly taller, just in terms of the size of his body, he looked puny next to Triple G. This wasn't like Canelo. I know Canelo moved up from 154 too, but Canelo looked big. He looked like a real middleweight in a Triple G fight, whereas Varnes Martirosyan did not. Did not look like a real middleweight, looked like a puny guy. Couldn't put a dent in Triple G, couldn't get his respect, and was dealt with accordingly. After the fight, he said, anyone who fights Triple G needs to run. Even Canelo, he said, now I know why Canelo was eating that kind of meat. Now I know why Canelo chose to run. So yeah, Martirosyan got dealt with. Again, moving up from 154, he's never fought a middleweight before. A late replacement who took it on a couple weeks' notice, and he'd been out the ring for 2 years. So you kind of expected Varnes Martirosyan to win this fight. And as I say, I think he could have got up, but he was probably thinking to himself, I ain't getting paid enough for this. You understand? So let me just stay on the floor. It was what it was. I wish Triple G had fought someone more formidable. I wish Triple G had fought someone who was at least ranked in the top 10. I'm sure Martirosyan might have got one of these ridiculous rankings where as soon as the fight is made, they miraculously, Martirosyan miraculously appears in the top 10 of one of the sanctioning bodies. Something like that probably happened. But, I wish Triple G would have picked someone more formidable than this. This was Martirosyan's an underrated junior middleweight contender, but as a middleweight, as I say, completely untested, completely unproven. So, yeah, the criticism of this fight was valid, I think. The whole card was actually garbage. Yeah, the whole card was garbage, man. I got into some debate online in my Facebook boxing group, Hatman Boxing, with, well, basically somebody made a post in my Facebook boxing group during this card because there was a female fight, there was a women's boxing match on this card, and someone posted that they didn't like female boxing, they found it boring, which is fair enough. But they said that, I'm paraphrasing, they said, why are they constantly putting female boxing matches on these cards? Like, I don't find it interesting. It's boring, And I said, yeah, my personal view on it is they should stop trying to force it down people's throats, because that's what it seems like at the moment. They're just constantly putting female boxing in all these shows, and very few people are interested in it. Yeah? There is so many other professionals out there, young fighters who are exciting, young male fighters who would kill to be on a show like that. But they're not given the opportunity. Instead, they're bringing these female fighters who, most of them, very few people are interested in watching, because most people just don't find female boxing entertaining. And some woman took exception to that in my boxing group, and they were saying, oh, wow, you guys should be supporting female boxing and this, that, and the other. And my argument is, why am I supporting something which I don't find entertaining? Am I supposed to support, senior citizens boxing? Because that probably goes on. Am I supposed to support that? I don't find it entertaining. Why am I going to support it? There are many fighters over the years, for example, like Roy Jones Jr. Yeah, he was probably one of my favorite fighters of all time. I used to love watching him in his prime. But when Roy Jones Jr. became washed up, I stopped watching him because he was no longer entertaining to me. So I wasn't watching his fights, I wasn't covering his fights, or none of that. I think I covered one Roy Jones Jr. fight on my channel, and that was the Macronelli fight. And even that, I just did it as a side note. But he had loads of fights during the times that I've had my channels, and I ain't been covering them. And this is one of my favorite fighters of all time. Why? Because it's not entertaining anymore. In Roy Jones Jr.'s latter years when he was washed up, he was just garbage. And even a washed up Roy Jones Jr., for me, was more entertaining than watching most female boxers. So, and I didn't even want to watch him. Yeah. So it's not about, sexism or anything like that. Men and women have got different aptitudes. Men and women are good at different things. This idea that men and women should be equally good at everything is ridiculous. It's a farce. It's farcical to think that men and women can be equally good at everything. Boxing, at the end of the day, is a form of entertainment, and men do it best, in my opinion. Yeah, male boxing is far more entertaining than female boxing, simply because men are stronger. They can throw heavier punches. They can inflict more damage. It's not like there's never been female boxers who can inflict damage, but it's all relative. Watching a female boxing match is like watching 12-year-olds fight. And I don't really want to watch 12-year-olds fight. Unless I was training one of these 12-year-olds, I really don't want to watch 12-year-olds fight. It doesn't interest me. Yeah? So, it is what it is. They had a female match on the card, which I thought was just garbage. And the rest of the card was garbage as well. It was no good. The main event was garbage. In fact, going into before this card, I looked at the schedule. I looked at all the fights on the card, and I thought, wow, the main event actually looks like the best fight. And the main event's a mismatch. which just shows you how terrible the card is overall. So yeah, Triple G did his thing, but who's he gonna fight next? I'd like to see him face one of his mandatories, Charlo, or the Eastern European guy whose name always escapes me, the one who's very highly touted. I want to see Triple G fight one of those guys if he's not going to take on Canelo in September, and he might take on Canelo in September. It all depends. We'll see. So yeah, let me know how you feel in the comment section below, people. It's happening. I'm out.